aplauso pa' mami y papi, porque en verdad rompieron.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the colorful and diverse country of Mexico. Officially known as the United Mexican States, Mexico is located in the southern part of North America, sharing borders with the United States to the north and Belize and Guatemala to the south. It is surrounded by the Pacific Ocean on one side and the Gulf of Mexico and Caribbean Sea on the other. With a population of over 130 million people, Mexico is the largest Spanish-speaking country in the world. The capital city, Mexico City, is one of the biggest metropolitan areas on the planet, rich in culture, history, and modern life. Mexico is famous for its ancient civilizations, including the Maya and the Aztec. Visitors can explore world wonders like Chichen Itza or climb the pyramids of Teotihuacan. The country is also home to stunning natural beauty, from the white sand beaches of Cancun and the Riviera Maya to the deserts of the north and the jungles of the south. Mexico offers incredible variety. Mexican cuisine is one of the world's favorites. Tacos, enchiladas, guacamole, and chocolate all come from here. In fact, Mexican food is recognized by UNESCO as part of the world's cultural heritage. Festivals bring the country to life. The famous Day of the Dead, or Dia de los Muertos, celebrates life and ancestors with colorful altars, flowers, and traditions. From history and culture to music, beaches, and warm hospitality, Mexico is a destination that has it all. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mexico, a land of ancient wonders and vibrant modern life.
In today's video, we're diving into the rich and colorful culture of Mexico. Known for its vibrant traditions, Mexico is a country filled with history, art, and amazing celebrations. One of the highlights of Mexican culture is its festivals. The Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, is world famous, where families honor their loved ones with altars, flowers, and traditional food like pan de muerto. Another iconic celebration is Cinco de Mayo, commemorating Mexico's victory in the Battle of Puebla. Mexican cuisine is another treasure. From tacos and tamales to mole and pozole, every dish tells a story. Don't forget about the refreshing aguas frescas and, of course, tequila. Art also plays a big role in Mexican culture. Artists like Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera have left a lasting legacy with their bold and emotional works. Lastly, Mexican music and dance, such as mariachi and folklorico, showcase the country's deep-rooted traditions.
Okay, so today we're diving into the vibrant, completely relationship-driven world of closing business deals in Mexico. If you're used to strict agendas, hard deadlines, and throwing cold numbers on the table the second you sit down, well, you're going to want to hit pause on that. Doing business in Mexico requires a really unique touch, and understanding their cultural negotiation style can quite literally mean the difference between a totally stalled meeting and a massive, highly lucrative long-term partnership. So, ask yourself, are you actually ready to close a deal in Mexico? Because before you even step foot in that boardroom, you gotta know one crucial thing. Leave your rigid timelines at the door. Seriously. Success down there requires a completely different, highly adaptable playbook. You can't just power through a slick, formal presentation and expect a signature at the end of the hour. We really need to rethink what a business meeting even looks like. To truly succeed, you first have to understand that Mexican business culture is deeply rooted in relationship-oriented communication. Basically, prioritizing a personal connection and building genuine trust isn't just polite small talk, it is absolutely required before you do any formal corporate tasks. They invest in people just as much as they invest in products. Let's be real, if they don't trust you as a person, the numbers on your spreadsheet just aren't gonna matter. Let's walk through the life cycle of a typical meeting, where you're gonna notice a massive shift in expectations. The first 15 minutes, warm greetings. The next 45, that is entirely dedicated to coffee and personal talk. They wanna know about your family, your flight, your life. Fun fact, checking your watch during this first hour is considered a major faux pas. You don't even touch the actual business pitch until hour 2. And then that's followed by an ongoing phase of adaptable bargaining. As the saying goes, in Mexico, schedules can always adjust for friendship. During that initial warm-up phase, fully expect your carefully planned agenda to get delayed for some deep conversations over coffee. Rushing directly into the numbers, that just signals to your potential partners that you have zero interest in a long-term relationship. It screams quick transaction, which is the exact opposite of what they value. Okay, so what happens when you finally reach the bargaining table? You've got to adopt a 3-step mindset. Step 1, present your starting price. Step 2, listen to their emotional feedback. And step 3, find a workable middle ground. Keeping this flow in mind is absolutely vital, mostly because your initial offer is really just an invitation to start a dynamic conversation. Think of it as an opening move, definitely not a final ultimatum. To navigate this phase properly, get ready for some highly expressive communication. If they react with shock or real passion to your price, don't panic, that's just part of the dance. View your listed prices as mere starting points. Oh, and here is a massive pitfall to avoid. Do not cite rigid corporate policies. If you say something like, well, company policy only allows a 2% discount, you're throwing up a wall. In this culture, strict boundaries feel cold and they break trust fast. Always prioritize the emotional connection in the deal over rigid rules. Because here is the real secret sauce. Flexibility creates trust. When you encounter pushback on a price and need to steer back to the hard numbers, you've got to get creative by offering dynamic compromises, maybe adjusting the payment structure, reducing upfront costs, changing package sizes, or even guaranteeing future expansion projects. You demonstrate the exact kind of goodwill that builds lasting trust, all while securing your bottom line. You're signaling that you care way more about making the partnership work than strictly winning a negotiation. When conflicts pop up over pricing, and they will, you have to consciously move away from a rigid, ticking clock mentality of pure logic. Instead, shift your mindset toward finding balance, emotional connection, and mutual respect. That shift, that is exactly how you turn a tense negotiation into a highly collaborative problem-solving session that actually satisfies both parties. And that brings us to, honestly, the best part of the whole process. Real business partnerships begin with good food. After finding that harmony and securing the deal, expect to cement the newly formed partnership over a celebratory shared meal. In Mexico, this is usually the comida, a robust, multi-hour afternoon business lunch that is literally famous for sealing deals. It's the ultimate celebration of the human connection you've just built together. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with something to chew on. Next time you're prepping for an international negotiation, ask yourself, if adaptability builds the strongest partnerships, what rigid corporate rules are you willing to bend to secure your next global deal? Are your strict professional boundaries actually costing you the trust you need to succeed?
Welcome everyone to our cross-cultural expedition on communication and negotiation in international business. Today, we will explore a business meeting between Malaysia Technology Company and a Mexican distribution company. We selected Mexico because of its strong relationship-oriented business culture, expressive communication style, and flexible negotiation practices. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Malaysia represents a more structured and professional communication approach that values planning, efficiency, and politeness. Although both cultures value respect and teamwork, their negotiation styles differ significantly. Through this project, we will explore communication styles, bargaining behavior, decision-making differences, and conflict management strategies. Let's begin our business meeting in Mexico City.
Hola, amigos! Welcome to Mexico! We are very happy you made it here safely.
How was your flight today, my friend?
Thank you, Senor Carlos. The flight was very long, but we are prepared for today's discussion.
So we are already prepared the timeline, project proposal, and also the budget presentation.
So serious already. In Mexico, business should begin with coffee first.
Nice.
Thank you.
Miss, according to our schedule, negotiations start at exactly 9 a.m., but now it's already 9:10 a.m.
Yes, we should begin shortly.
Okay.
So, Miss Farah, is this your first time visiting Mexico?
Yes, it is.
Then after the meeting, we must bring you to try authentic tacos.
And mariachi music too.
Our schedule is actually very full today.
In Mexico, schedules can always be adjusted with friendship. We believe trust is important before signing agreements.
Of course, we also value professionalism and efficiency.
That is excellent. Then we will work very well together.
Our company values personal relationships with business partners.
Meeting discussion delayed by 15 minutes.
Miss Nadia relax a little. Enjoy Mexico.
Perhaps we can review the quarterly projections now?
Yes, but tell us more about your company.
Our company has been operating in Malaysia for more than 12 years now.
Excellent! Stability is very important to us. We don't only invest in products, but also in people.
Miss, I think this meeting is turning into a cultural exchange program.
Yes, but let's say professional.
Okay.
Although both companies share the same business goal, their communication styles create subtle misunderstanding. The Malaysian team focused on efficiency and structure, while on the other hand, Mexican team prioritized trust and personal connections before discussing business matters.
In Mexico, communication is usually warm and relationship for kids. Nonverbal communications is very important. Gestures such as handshakes are common when greeting people. Hugging can be also common among men and women, especially between friends and close colleagues. In some cases, people who have built a close relationship may greet each other with a kiss on the cheek. Greeting others is considered polite and respectful in the workplace. It is common to say good morning or good afternoon when arriving at work, as this helps create a friendly and positive working environment. In addition, eye contact is very important because it shows confidence, attention, and respect during conversations. Furthermore, people in Mexico may avoid directly saying no in order to maintain harmony and avoid hurting others' feelings. Using formal titles such as senior or señora is also common in professional settings as a sign of respect.
Our proposed software deployment package cost 50,000 USD.
Ay, caramba! 50,000?
That is very high for our market.
We expected something more flexible.
Flexible? This pricing includes installation, cybersecurity systems, maintenance support, and employee training.
Our pricing structures follows the international standards actually.
My friends, we are not trying to fight your prices.
Well then, what concerns you?
We are trying to build a long-term partnership.
In Mexico, negotiation is about finding balance for both sides.
Well, our company policy only allows a maximum of 2% reduction.
Only 2%? You're breaking my heart, amigo.
Hello, this is the corporate negotiation.
And emotional connection matters too.
What if we reduce the package size slightly?
That may affect system performance.
Then perhaps installment payments?
We usually require 70% upfront payments.
In Mexico, flexibility creates trust.
Well, in Malaysia, structure creates stability.
Means they keep changing negotiation direction.
Stay calm. We must adapt professionally.
Okay.
What if we guarantee future expansion projects? Yes, this could become a 5-year partnership.
Well, that may justify revising some terms.
Okay, now we are negotiating properly.
I think this is the longest price discussion in my life.
Bargaining in Mexico is not a universal rule. It is a cultural practice that changes completely depending on where you are. To master it, you must first learn to distinguish between a commercial transaction and a social exchange. Formal retail, price is fixed. In formal markets, bargaining is a social dialogue. Where not to bargain. First, the no zone. In supermarkets, department stores, pharmacies, and restaurants, prices are set. Trying to bargain here is not only ineffective, it is considered rude. If an item has a tag or is on a menu, pay the listed price, where bargaining is expected. Bargaining is appropriate in traditional street markets, or tianguis, and independent artisan stalls. Here, the initial price is often the start of a conversation. However, remember the food rule: never bargain for produce or food. These items are priced for local accessibility. Negotiating them can be seen as exploitative. The social dance protocol. Narrator: if you are in an appropriate setting, treat the interaction as a social dance. Keep your demeanor friendly and polite. Avoid aggressive tactics or impatience. Your goal is rapport, not winning. If you want a lower price, try buying multiple items and asking for a bundled discount. And if you can't agree on a price, simply thank the vendor and walk away politely. This is a standard respectful conclusion. Be friendly, ask for bundle discounts, exit gracefully if needed. Summary and final tip. In summary, respect the environment, keep the tone light, and value the artisan's craft. When it comes to formal business, the same principle of trust building applies. It's not just about the price, it's about building a relationship that lasts. Happy travels and happy shopping. Build relationships. Respect the craft.
In Mexican business culture, decision-making is often a collective and relationship-based process. While efficiency is important, trust, communication, and discussion among team members play a major role before any final decision is made. In many Mexican organizations, decisions are not made immediately by one person alone. Instead, ideas are usually shared openly among team members and discussed in detail. Employees are encouraged to give their opinions, and managers often consider different viewpoints before reaching a conclusion. This approach helps ensure that everyone feels involved and valued in the decision-making process. Although group discussions is important, Mexican business culture still respects hierarchy. This means that while many people may contribute ideas, the final decision is usually made by senior management or top leaders. Should we choose proposal A or proposal B? Leaders do not make decisions in isolation. They often listen carefully to feedback from their teams before deciding. This balance between consultation and leadership is a key feature of Mexican decision-making style. Another important aspect of decision-making in Mexico is the emphasis on relationships. Business decisions are often influenced by trust, long-term cooperation, and personal connections. Because of this, negotiations and decisions may take longer compared to more strictly structured cultures, as people prefer to build strong relationships before finalizing agreements. Flexibility is also common, where terms and solutions may be adjusted to ensure both sides feel satisfied. For example, in a business meeting, a proposal may first be discussed by several team members. Then, the manager gathers all opinions and presents them to the director. After considering the feedback, the final decision is made by senior leadership, often aiming for a solution that benefits both sides.
Everyone became a winner. The president was very impressed and proceeded to speak to her team members. This very scenario is happening right now in our lives, in our very team. And it's because we are much more efficient when we are willing to share with each other. We are better problem solvers, thinkers, and workers when we work together, not individually or against each other.
In conclusion, decision-making in Mexican business culture combines teamwork, respect for hierarchy, and strong relationship building. Understanding this helps international businesses communicate more effectively and achieve better cooperation.
After recognizing these cultural differences, both teams slowly realized that successful international negotiations require patience, flexibility, and mutual respect.
Good morning, Senora Isabella.
Good morning, Miss Farah.
After reflecting on yesterday's discussion, I realized we approached the negotiation too directly.
Yeah, we focus too much on deadlines and not enough on our relationship building.
And we understand your concerns about efficiency and planning.
This is why international business can be challenging.
Different cultures define professionalism differently.
We respect your decision-making process.
And we respect your professionalism and preparation.
I believe both sides want the same thing, a successful partnership.
Yeah, I suppose business is not about the schedules only.
And not only about emotions either.
We reviewed your proposal carefully last night.
And
we are willing to proceed under revised terms.
There is wonderful news.
If you can slightly adjust the payment structure.
we are willing to reduce the upfront payment requirement.
And we are willing to increase the overall budget slightly.
See, now both sides feel satisfied.
Tonight we celebrate properly.
Yay!
Yes!
With tacos again.
Of course, business partnership begins with good food.
Then maybe Mexico's business culture is not so bad after all.
And perhaps structure and planning are not so bad either.
Well, cheers
to
successful international cooperation.
Take a look at each one. First up is advising, which you probably know as mediation. Here, the manager isn't a judge, they're more of a facilitator, a guide. They help the conversation along, but, and this is the crucial part, the employees themselves have to be the ones to find and agree on their own solution. Next, we have the adversarial tactic. Think of this one like arbitration. The manager basically acts like a judge in a courtroom. Each person gets to present their side of the story, their case, and then the manager makes the final binding decision. Case closed. Third is the autocratic approach. With this one, the manager takes complete control of, well, everything, both the process and the outcome. They run the discussion, they decide what solution to go with, and then they enforce it. The study actually notes this is a really common tactic. Number 4 is called providing impetus, but you gotta love its nickname, the kick in the pants. Here, the manager doesn't want to get bogged down in the details. They just provide a really strong incentive, maybe an order, maybe even a threat, for the employees to just solve the problem themselves and fast. And finally, there's avoidance. Now, this is a conscious choice. The manager sees the conflict, they know it's happening, but they make the decision to do absolutely nothing, hoping, maybe praying, that the employees will just figure it out on their own. So there you have it, our 5 tactics. But this brings us right to the heart of the matter, the core question of this whole study. Do people all around the world react to these tactics the same way? Is what one person considers fair truly universal? To figure this out, the researchers used a classic cultural framework, individualism versus collectivism. It really boils down to this. Individualistic cultures tend to focus on the I, personal goals, individual rights. Collectivistic cultures focus on the we, what's best for the group, maintaining harmony. And as you can imagine, this difference could have a huge impact on what people think a fair resolution looks like. So here was the setup. The researchers gave a conflict scenario to students in 3 more collectivistic countries. That's Argentina, the Dominican Republic, and Mexico. And one highly individualistic one, the US. Now, what do you think they found? Did culture predict what people wanted? Let's take a look. All right, it is time for the big reveal. The data showed some things we might have expected, yeah, but it also turned up some genuine surprises that really challenge our assumptions about how culture and conflict work together. So if you average the result across all 4 countries, a really clear pattern emerges. Advising, that collaborative mediation approach, was the universal favorite, number one. And right behind it was the decisive autocratic tactic. And at the bottom, the least favorite by a long shot, providing impetus and avoidance. The message here is crystal clear. People want their managers to be involved, not checked out. But, and this is a big but, it gets way more complicated when you break it down by country. Take a look at the rating for the super controlling autocratic tactic. In the Dominican Republic, it was seen as very fair, scoring over 73. But in Argentina, it scored a much, much lower 51. This just goes to show that even within so-called collectivistic cultures, ideas about fairness can be wildly different. And we see the same thing again with advising. I mean, while everybody liked it, participants in the US rated it as significantly more fair than the folks in Argentina did. So what's the takeaway here? It's that even a universally liked approach is still viewed through a very specific cultural lens.
And there you have it. Through this project, we explore how cultural differences between Malaysia and Mexico influence the negotiation tips and process, communication styles, bargaining behavior, decision-making, and lastly, the conflict management. As we can see, the Malaysian team learned the importance of relationship building and patience in Mexico business culture. Meanwhile, the Mexican team appreciated the professionalism and organization in Malaysia's side. This also demonstrates that successful international business depends on not only the technical skills and contracts, but also on cultural understanding, flexibility, and mutual respect. Thank you for joining our cross-culture expedition. Gracias y muchas gracias. Bye-bye.
Cheers to successful international cooperation. Do, re, mi, fa, so. Cheers. Successful international cooperation.
Partners. Jangan gelak, Camelia.
50,000?
Kita mana-mana je lah. Okay. Mana-mana dia baca yang seram sikit.
Welcome, Vera. Because of its strong relationship, Shoha.
On both sides.
Well, our company policy
It's a